In this video, I'll be sharing with you some of the basics of atomic design and why you should consider adopting a design system methodology as part of your workflow. Using a system like atomic design has been a true game changer for me. It has helped me keep my project organized and scalable. And the more I use it, the more new things I realize and the more I advance in that never-ending journey of trying to find the smartest possible way of building products. And not in an isolated world of design, but rather in a unified way where all team members, including developers, can understand and contribute to.
But what is atomic design? Atomic design is a methodology that helps us create design systems. It was created by Brad Frost, a web designer, developer, and musician. It breaks down design elements into smaller, reusable components that can be combined to create more complex layouts in sort of a Russian nesting doll fashion. These components are organized into a hierarchy, starting with the most basic building blocks called atoms. Atoms can be things like typography, your colors, your icons, and buttons. And these atoms are combined to form molecules, which are groups of atoms that function together as a unit. Molecules are then combined to form organisms, which are larger, more complex components. And finally, templates and pages are created using these organisms. How can you start using atomic design principles within your Figma projects? Figma has many built-in features that will allow you to think the atomic design way, and it will help you keep your design files organized, especially on larger projects where the number of components can quickly get out of hand. By breaking down your design elements into smaller, reusable components, you can easily update and maintain your designs without losing complete track of things. Additionally, using a system like atomic design can help you think more critically about the structure and hierarchy of your apps in the first place, resulting in a more cohesive and consistent final product and happier users. Setting up your Figma file. Even if you are just a student or your team is not ready to adopt the atomic design ways, I still see value in using this methodology or some kind of design systems principles to organize your Figma projects. If after you watch this, atomic design becomes your first experience with this kind of methodology, which you will for sure need in the future as a UI designer, you can start getting used to thinking in this modular way about product design no matter where you are in your career. So if I were to start a new project, the first thing I would do is create a file structure. You can create a separate page for each level of the hierarchy, from atoms to pages, or the way I like doing it is by creating sections for each level on the same page to avoid going back and forth between pages. This is not a linear process. It's also important to name your components and sections clearly and consistently so that it's easy for you and your team to find and use them. Working with components. In Figma, you can create components by selecting the element you want to turn into a component and clicking the Create Component button. This will create a master component that you can use to update all instances of that component at once. You can also create variants of the same component and customize the elements within it. This allows you to keep your design system flexible but efficient, as you can update a single component and have the changes reflected throughout your file. Here's a few tips for success when using atomic design principles in Figma. Number 1, think critically about the hierarchy of your design elements and how they fit into the atomic design structure. Number 2, keep your components organized and named clearly so you can easily find and use them. Number 3, use the documentation feature in Figma, but ideally every project should come with documentation detailing rules and other important factors. And number 4, use the Create Component button wisely and only turn elements into components if they will be reused multiple times. But don't be afraid of making new components if it makes sense. All in all, atomic design is so much more than I can cover in this video and a lot more than a designer's thing too. Also, to be clear, atomic design is not a fit-all solution either. What makes sense in the context of one project may not make sense in the next project. Keep this in mind and keep your design systems flexible, and ultimately figuring all of this out is literally your job. What is certain is that atomic design is a methodology that is going to help you keep your files and your projects organized, efficient, and scalable without the whole project turning into a huge nightmare. What do you think about it? Do you use atomic design for your projects? Some other kind of design system methodology? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoy this content, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one.